you're just like,
I think I did see that one.
oh man, so wait, are you telling me that you actively look at like dildos and dickhole porn? Is that what
Yeah,
you're telling me right
totally.
now?
I'm pretty sure I've seen that before it was a thing, and I was just like, "Oh, this is bad." I thought this was cool, and then I kind of had to hide part of me for the rest of my life. One of those
All right.
situations. You know?
Ladies and gentlemen, the first thing you just heard Chase of Gianna's sweet debut say was that he thought that that Kids in a Sandbox was cool before anyone else heard it. You heard it here first.
Yep.
What's going on, everybody? This is Babe Talk. We're speaking with Chase of Gianna's sweet debut. What's up, sup, sup?
Nothing really. Just chilling, having a good time with my new friend.
Hey, you called me your friend. Yay.
We already shot the shit for long enough and talked about weird stuff. So we're way past
we're,
it.
we're past friendship now.
We are. Yes, we are. We could
Like
kiss
the
and
ne- It would be totally fine. The next time I'm going to see you at a show, we're just going to walk up and be like, hey, did you watch any like extreme porn lately? Be like, nah, bro. And then your friend's going to be like, what? It's like, nah, don't worry. It's Babe Talk.
yeah,
Like, I
exactly.
thought it was something with porn. Just go ahead and tell everyone after this interview. It's just like, oh yeah, like Babe Talk, they just talk about porn all the time.
Exactly. That's why it's called Babe Talk. Like you think it's about music, it's not about music. It's all about
I,
prying into the porn, interests.
And like I make that joke, but actively I've had several different people tell me it's just like, oh, Babe Talk, I've seen the name around, but I have no idea what it's about. I thought it was about like porn. I'm like, ha ha ha. But if you were to go to babetalk.com instead of babetalk.tv, it does come up with a like those generic search pages that like
Yeah,
if you were to mistype a name, yeah.
the one like they're slightly off, so that way they get you to some weird spam search engine thing that like is like made by some weird third party like Indian. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Uh, yes, you get it. We don't
Yeah,
need to laugh.
yeah, sadly, yeah, if you were to go to babetalk.com, it comes up with that, but it has all the keywords for porn, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
all right, this is fine. Like, I
perfect
don't,
name.
perfect name. I'm like, I came up with the whole idea, and I was like, yeah, this is all great, this is all wonderful, and everyone on my team was like, yeah, this is great, awesome. And then we're like, oh man,
Yeah,
.com is taken.
no. Well, .tv makes more sense anyway.
It does. That is true. That is true. So, we're having a good time. We're gonna get into some shit. Before we jump into anything more, I do have to make mention of our awesome sponsor, which is gonna
Yeah,
be Terminus Tees. Yeah, yeah, Terminus Tees. Yeah.
hell yeah, Terminus teas.
Hells to the yeah. They currently have a special going on right now. That if you were to order 100 T-shirts, you're gonna get them for $397. That's gonna be
What?
part of. Yeah, what? Shit's cray. Go ahead and look at their their website terminustees.com, and they're going to have a lot of awesome people ready to help you out with your t-shirts, with your design, how you want them packaged. They have a lot of awesome people on there to help you out with everything. Their account managers are they're standing by their keyboards right now waiting to take your message. So go right ahead and contact them.
They're there just to talk too. If you need help with anything not t-shirt related.
You know what? I did the one liaison I've been talking with Rebecca. She's a very nice soul, and we've shot the shit a little bit ourselves, and it was productive. And then we realized we should probably talk about business. And then we're like,
Exactly.
kind of, maybe, sort of. But anyway, so they're awesome people. Go right ahead. Go assign yourself an account manager. Go get your special for $397. It is only lasting until tomorrow actually. Either tomorrow or sometime next week, but I should probably have that information. But you know, instead of me telling you that information, go ahead and go look in their website. I'm not doing all your fucking dirty work for you.
Yeah, you won't.
Terminustees.com, go check it out.
Even if you
Yeah,
don't have a band, get t-shirts made that have like big wiener on it or something like that.
a big wiener.
Yeah, I'd wear it.
one one giant wiener. So, oh, oddly enough, speaking of wieners. So we have this contest at Babe Talk. If you were to go onto our Facebook page, we did announce a contest yesterday for 4 tickets to Warp Tour. If you are a designer, if you want to go ahead and take a crack at our logo, we will put it on all of our social media, and we'll put it on our marketing for the entirety of Warp Tour. But you have to design a logo, and in May we will have people vote on it. So if yours gets the most votes, you get to take this award.
Can I
And
join?
yeah, if you want to design a logo, that's
Is it
fine.
okay if it's a
There are.
giant wiener?
If you were to go on to the article, it specifically says that we have the right to reject it, and I swear to God, in parentheses in the official rules, it says we have the right to deny it simply because we don't want a giant wiener for our logo. I shit you not. If you were to pause this interview right now and take a look
I
at it,
did
I swear to
not
God,
read
that's.
that. Complete coincidence. I swear, I did not read that.
I know. I believe you. But this is why I have to put these things in writing to make sure
Otherwise,
that I
like,
don't have a giant wang for a logo for the entirety of
or a
Vogue
bunch
Tour.
of giant wangs being submitted continuously.
just one guy to be like, what about a brown dick? What about an orange dick? Purple dick's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So far, we've talked about sex way, way, way too much on the podcast. It's been a long time since I've done that.
Let's keep it moving.
Let's keep it pushing. So every week we ask our guests how their past month was. But if you want to go past farther than that, anything interesting you have to share with us, tell us. So I ask you, Chase, how was your past month?
My past month. Well, I am a special education aide at an early childhood center. So there's lots of, well, I think there's one a couple weeks ago, a kid pooped on the carpet and then was rolling around in it. And we didn't notice until a kid stepped in it and wiped it on his own shirt. So you can imagine like this, and this one kid, he's 4, he has like hardcore OCD, and it was a mess. And then we tried to clean him up in the bathroom, and my other aide tried to put one of the turds into the toilet, and then the kid who pooped himself freaked out and then grabbed the turd with his bare hand and squeezed it. Yeah.
Oh.
I think that was the same day someone just straight up pissed on the floor or something like that. But lots of pooping and peeing and getting bit. I've gotten bit, workman's comp doctor stuff, etc. That's how my month is. That's how it is every day. That's my past month.
That's well. I'm sorry to hear that. I mean,
you want to know about music? Because I totally forgot that.
You're just like, I don't want to talk about my job. I love the kids, but I don't want to talk about it, man. I don't want to bring my work home with me.
I know. I can't help but do it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I just kind of want to peer into how you didn't notice there was a kid rolling around in shit for a little bit.
Well, I don't know.
Not to call you out on your worth ethic or anything like that, but if you kids roll around in shit.
It was just kind of little, you know what I mean, here and there. He didn't straight up drop a huge turd. You know what I mean? It was just little bits that definitely fell out of his pants at some point. And then I saw it from a distance. I squinted and I was just like, wait, did someone drop chocolate on it? And then
did he just shit on the floor?
And I was just everyone off the carpet. And we had to throw that carpet away. And then in return, we got a worse carpet. I don't know. We should have just kept the carpet, whatever. Conversation for.
This is rough, man. I have worked with special ed kids in the past. I used to work as a camp counselor, and I used to volunteer. Well, I volunteered once for the Special Olympics years ago, so I do know that it can be a little challenging dealing with special ed kids.
Challenging, the right word.
Yeah, because I mean, and funny indeed, because there's such an innocence about the kids, you know.
Yeah, really. And it's great, you know.
Mm-hmm. It is, and it's rewarding because there are not a lot of people that would be able to take on that challenge.
Yes, it's very, very, very tough. And I don't think me or my coworkers for sure get paid enough. It's not just a me thing. I see, my coworkers do some extraordinary things that they don't have to do. And I'm like, and you get paid, you know what I mean? You think about people on Wall Street who get paid to do jack shit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And here we are trying to engineer the population, and it's just whatever, It's whatever, man.
It is, but that's very commendable because again, like I said, for the pay that you guys receive, which I don't know off the top of my head, but I can only imagine it's but so much, and the amount of work that you guys do, and you're shaping lives. And I think that's another thing that people don't realize because also my mother's a teacher, and the parents will drop off their kids and they'll just be like, all right, just assign my kid homework, but I mean it's
you're
daycare. like it's daycare, but you're literally shaping lives. A lot of kids spend more time with their teachers than they do their
Yes,
families,
we
because you
are
know
very
it's it.
yeah.
Yeah. So you're part of these kids' lives for an amazing thing, which
Thank
is
you.
yes. So that's cool. So
So yeah, how
I
my past.
guess so. Yeah, that's been your past month. Just a bunch of shit and piss
And give me bit.
and getting bit.
Yeah.
Well,
Sounds like a great time.
well, it's gonna be like the office style.
Yeah.
So like besides your work, is there anything that you do for fun that you've been indulging yourself in?
Well, uh, I've been having like we kind of talked about this earlier before
Hmm.
pre-interview about like me having house shows, and that's one thing that I had a couple in the last few months with some really great bands from like Massachusetts. I'm gonna name drop a few: Lady Pills, Big Boy Club. They're from Massachusetts, and let me think about some locals: Abandoned Earth, Valerian. With sales ahead. I'm just trying to, you know what I mean? These are
No,
all
just get
really,
them all. Just shouts out, man. Shouts out.
yeah. I'm trying to think who else has played at those shows. Spouter, they're awesome. Um, Shoot, they were like in close proximity, and it was tough. Like, just because like it's like my house. Like I live there, you know, with my parents, but like I come home from the shitting and the pissing, and then I'm like, yep, time to throw a house show. And by that point, I'm like kind of like not in the mood, but it always ends up being really, really great. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And if it's like to fill in tour dates for people, like no, how easy is it to get a show on a Tuesday night in South
True.
Jersey? You know what I mean?
Very true.
It's my pleasure. It's truly, truly my pleasure. So, other than that, I've been doing that. We didn't really. I don't think we played anything last month. No, we did. We played a backyard show at our sister venue, Suplex City, which was fine. That one was fine.
Fine.
Yeah,
Fine.
yeah, it was good. It was good.
Okay, I'm like that's an adjective.
No, my
Like this is fine.
drummer's mom ended up wrestling this guy in a green morph suit at the end, and I got a picture of it, and I'll upload it someday. But like, that was probably the highlight. It was great for that reason alone.
Your life is just so interesting. You just like deal in shit and piss all day, and your mother's a badass by wrestling
Oh no,
Green
it's
Man.
my drummer's mother. It's my drummer's
Oh,
mother.
your drummer's mother. Excuse me. Either
Yeah.
way,
Yes.
man, like the tip of South Jersey is weird.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it's very, very strange, and because I think we don't really have like a at this point we're kind of like in a blurring of like a regional identity. So we just kind of
Mm.
do whatever. You know what I mean? It's just like why adhere to anything? Let's just cause mischief and do really stupid things. You know what I mean?
Included the mothers too.
Yeah, exactly. Like wrestling weird dudes in green morph suits. That was
Yeah.
Joyride's hype man. So shout out to Joyride, cool hype man.
Oh, I think I may know JoJo right. They sound very familiar for whatever reason.
You probably heard of him.
I think James Boss is gonna yell at me. Shouts out to James Boss, the managing editor of Babetalk.tv. He's always yelling at me for whatever reason.
Yeah,
Well,
screw.
sorry, for good reasons, but
Yeah.
but so we discussed about the tip of South Jersey and how weird it is, but let's peer into that. Let's take a deeper look. Let's start this interview off. We're gonna kick it off.
You
How about
forgot.
that?
Yeah, let's dive in.
Let's dive into that. Ooh, yep.
It's fine. Talking, not your strong suit.
It's not my strong suit. The host of a podcast can't talk for shit.
No, seriously, man. Come on.
I'm gonna try and get it together. We'll see how this goes when I ask people questions. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and start this off. I'm gonna ask you questions. You can answer them, or you can pass, or you can divert them to someone else. You can call a friend. You
Oh,
can
I
poll
can
the
call it.
audience. You can call a friend if you're so choosy. You can call a friend. You can poll the audience, or I'll take away two different answers.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait,
All
sorry.
right.
Say
So
that last one again.
um, I'll take away two of the. It's a rules to millionaire. Who wants to be a millionaire?
Oh, sorry. I was just like, okay, phone a friend, blah blah blah. Like, wait, was that? Okay.
Damn, Nikki, that went right over your head.
I know.
Damn.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And that was our time. That was our time.
And that was it. All right, guys, it's been real. This is Babetalk. We're ending it right here.
Yep. Goodbye.
Goodbye. All right, so let's get into this. Gianna's sweet date debut. For starters, let's tell people at home your name and your position in the band.
Okay, I am Chase of Gianna's Sweet Debut. I sing and play guitar and am primary, I guess, songwriter and
Okay.
lyricist.
All
I
right,
guess.
if you want
I don't know how else to put
to,
it.
just a bunch of positions.
Yes, that's what I do. I do stuff.
All right, sick. And your let's give a quick intro as to who the band is.
Okay, so it's me on guitar and vocals, and then my best friend, Scott Calhoun on bass, and then my other good buddy, Dom Diversa on the drums. And he's the baby of the band. He's real young compared to, us old timers.
Sitting at a good 24 years old, we old
Yeah.
AF.
Oh man, look at all that gray.
I know, right? Oh, it's all right here too. But all right, so the band's been around for a while, actually. I think I went to go check you guys out, and it said that the first EP had dropped. Well, before you guys had your transition over to the new EP, 2012, I think you guys had put out the first one.
Yeah, we were a band even before that too. Like it took us a while to get out something that we were comfortable with putting out and saying like, okay, we're a real band now. We didn't want to have any of the I don't want to say sloppy because it's commendable to try no matter what. But we didn't really want to have a demo phase or anything like that. We kind of just wanted to come out and be like, okay, these guys are a band already. I didn't want to have people have to wait and watch us grow. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just the way we kind of approached it. So we've probably been a band more or less since 2009 in some incarnation.
Okay. So how did
So
the
it's good.
band first? Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
So then how did the band first form then?
Basically, it was kind of always just like one of my other one of my other best friends, Matthew Mance. I don't know if what he's doing right now. I mean, I don't mean at the moment, but I don't know what he's doing in music.
He's just taking a
But,
shit somewhere.
yeah, exactly. He's definitely taking a shit. There's a really good chance he is. But we kind of always we were like best friends since I was like 13 or no 14. I don't remember. 8th grade. Let's just whatever 8th grade. That whatever age you are in 8th grade. That's when we started really being best friends. And throughout the years, we kind of grew together, and we both started playing instruments and stuff like that. I played first and kind of introduced it to him and stuff like that. So just over the years, we always had just intentions of, you know what I mean? When you start something, usually you start it with your best friend. If you guys are both playing music, it's just something that comes naturally. So by the time, going in and out of phases and stuff like that, we started to actually musically align, basically when I started playing guitar, all I wanted to play was just punk rock, power chords, everything. So you know what I mean? Who cares about anything else musically? I didn't know how to play a solo or anything like that, but then I started slouching into, you know what I mean? I don't want to say softer things, but let's just say more poppy things that were a little more, you know what I mean? Easier to play and things that my friends would like. So just when we started getting on that level, I was really into I'm trying to think what was the real start. I don't know. I was always really into Jack's Mannequin. That was kind of a big starting point. For me and him, I wouldn't be playing music if it wasn't for Andrew McMahon. And I know a lot of people wouldn't be, but so that was kind of the starting point. And he what he had done is he started playing piano again, because I was just like, oh, dude, you played piano, right? And he's just like, well, I had a few lessons when I was 8. So he kind of started to just mess around again. And I guess muscle memory is pretty reliable. So he ended up getting really good. And he's still one of the best musicians I know. And that's Gianna's Sweet Debut started really as kind of a piano driven rock kind of project. We had a name before then, which I will not say because it was super lame. But like we did have, like I said, we've been something since at least 2009.
Okay, sorry. Like I was starting to get some killer feedback for whatever reason. That's the first time it's ever happened.
No, that's okay.
All right, I think we're good. Okay, so yeah, starting bands with your best friends. It's people who you're most comfortable with. And then especially easing into like actually performing music together. If you have that chemistry, like with your friendship, you can easily develop that
Right.
musically, which is very cool, very awesome to have in a back pocket friendship when you first start a band.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you said that you had first started playing guitar and like you kind of took some musical cues off of Jackson Mannequin, but like how did you learn how to play?
Guitar just in general. Well,
Yeah.
I like, originally I wanted to learn bass, and I'm thanking the Lord that I didn't actually pick that up because God knows what I'd be doing right now. No offense to bassists, but like, it's easier to write a song on a guitar. So basically, that's when I was in sixth grade. This is going way back. I just feel like saying it now because when will I ever have a chance to say it? Um, one of my best friends from sixth grade brought in his bass guitar for I guess it wasn't really show and tell. It was kind of like he had to demonstrate something and like teach the class. And in sixth grade, it's just kind of like, wow, someone brought in a bass guitar. That's really cool. So he kind of was like, oh, who wants to learn how to play something? And he taught me how to play Brain Stew by Green Day. And then just from then, I was like, that was so easy. I'm like, this is how you play bass. So just like, so after that, like, I just remember asking my dad to like, I was just like, we would always go to like the flea markets, and I was like, oh, I want a bass so bad, and like hoping that I would come across one. And just for some reason, I guess by some sort of energy kept bases out of flea markets in the time that I was looking for one. So we never found any like for the longest time, and there was just a guitar one day that my dad's friend had. So I was just like, okay, I'll just learn guitar, whatever. So then at that time, all I was like, we were kind of like, I want to say we were really cool for being in sixth grade. We like listened to like Rancid and like No Effects and like MXPX and you know what I mean? All the like the standard gateways for like, like punk rock or whatever. So I remember that's like all I really wanted to learn. And it was great that that's all I wanted to learn in a way, because it was easy, but also bad because I never really got too much better. Like, like I probably would be better now if I learned on different music, but like, I like to think it kind of stuck with me attitude wise. So like, I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not complaining about that at all. But anything from that point on until like ninth grade was always just was just like I never really got better. I just kept playing punk music, like just what I mean, like learning songs from like obscure Japanese hardcore bands, and like basically all it sounded like was like chainsaws and stuff like that. And I just started to get real weird, and then I just kind of like it, like obviously just like if that's all you're playing and you're 14 and no one cares in like a weird small like town where like starting a band isn't like even possible. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's like, especially at that age, and like, no one was listening to the music I was listening to. So I kind of like, for a little while, I kind of just stopped playing until I started listening to corny music, like "Cute is What We Aim For." And then I just, you know what I mean? I'm gonna admit to that. You know what I mean? Like,
No, it's funny to see the progression because you've gone from like No Effects, MXPX, and fucking Rancid, and then it's like, here's what we aim for.
yeah, well, I mean, it was even crazier than that. I was listening to like weird shit like Disclose and Discharge and like Scandinavian crust punk and stuff like that. And then it's even worse. It's even worse than that.
That's great though. Yeah.
And then, but that's really what got me into playing, music that was coherent, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say I'm not ashamed of it, but I'm thankful for the changes.
Yeah, and it helps you grow as a as an artist, because like not that you incorporate all of those different influences in your music, because you guys do have a definitive sound now that I can't say subjectively for just from my own ear that pulls from a lot of the old things that you talk about, which is very interesting that you say that you learned on like No Effects,
Right,
Rancid.
exactly. So
Not a
yeah.
lot of those influences go into your band,
Sorry,
but
say
it's
again.
still it doesn't, a lot of those influences you can't hear that with Gianna's Sweet debut.
Right, right, absolutely. But like I do like to think that all my little like phases left some sort of imprint, and I feel like for most people it does, and sometimes it doesn't though. But like a lot of the, you know what I mean, a lot of the things that I do will still be little nods to things that I liked back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And like that's, I mean, that's just basically how I write music. I don't know. But like I am proud of my punk rock roots or whatever.
Sure, absolutely. Tattooed on your chest.
Yeah, and it's not like, of course, you know what I mean. You could call us a punk band now, and I still do listen to punk, but like, it's a little, you know what I mean. I don't shoot for the more abrasive things generally anymore. Not that I don't like listening to them. There's a lot of music. I just listen to what I like now. You know what I mean?
I
I'm
love how
pretty
you said
lazy.
it, like you're not abrasive anymore. It's just like, oh man, just that sentence alone, it's like, oh, punk's dead. Fuck.
Seriously, it's
Punk's
not.
dead, retires. So, so you guys had formed a band. When did you start? Because we talked about your interest in instruments and how it started to progress from bass to guitar. Now you're writing guitar riffs. What about your songwriting?
How did that like evolve? Really? Um,
Yeah, yeah. How did your songwriting come to be?
okay. That's a really fun question. I like sometimes I like think about these things and I never really have anyone to tell. But I just like basically when I was, around 8th grade or 9th grade, I was just kind of like, you know what I mean, covering songs from, weird obscure punk bands and stuff like that. And just kind of recording it to like a little Tascam tape recorder that I had, like recording over old cassettes because I didn't have any blank ones. So it's just recording weird, like noisy covers, trying to be just like as weirdly punk as I could be. And it was a good time. Like that wasn't, necessarily me writing songs, but basically I want to say that's kind of where I started, like I guess, even like recording or like that being an option, me expressing myself musically, whether it was, through covering songs or whatever. But as I got like older, maybe like 10th grade or something like that, there was other like punk bands that I started, like I guess like emulating. Like when I started playing music again, I started like, I'm trying to think. There's this band called The Fall of Ephrafa, which was this really like drony, like crust punk post rock kind of like fusion band from England. And I was in love with them. So I was just like, I started looking up music that sounded like that, which was, some people called like neo crust. I don't know. It's some weird, you know what I mean? You know how subcultures get, they get real weird.
What? That is new to me.
Yeah, that was like it's like crust punk, but it's like it was new at the time and it was like really melodic or something like that, taking cues from like scrams and I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird.
Okay, all right. I can follow. Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of like it was a weird time, but like basically I started. I want to say that was like the first time I started like any like rather than writing just like random like riffs like for fun. I think that might have been the start of me really trying to express myself musically. That wasn't like completely copying off of someone. And some of the songs that I remember writing. Oh, you know what? Actually, I do have a demo. I did demo a song when I was in 10th grade. It's probably still on MySpace, and it's really sloppy. But I checked it out recently. Well, recently enough to remember. But it was the project was called The Lost Papers of Zebulon M. Pike, and it was like it was like a melodic crust punk band that I did by myself that I just demoed on really shitty like those really shitty headset mics that you used to talk to your friends on.
Oh
like,
my god, the ones from Microsoft. Holy
yeah,
shit.
yes, and I would record on them, and like it was the sloppiest recording you could imagine, and like it's not necessarily like the song is that good, but well, okay, this is the way I would put it. The songwriting was actually surprisingly solid, but the execution was really terrible. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's just I listened to it and I'm like, there is a really good song there, you know, and it's kind of like because that's the music I listened to. That's what I wanted to do. So from that point, it all kind of went downhill when I started listening to stuff like "Cute is What We Aim For," and I mean, I did listen to like that long bands, good bands that are still good now, like "Saves the Day,"
Okay.
and like I guess like you know the Get Up Kids or whatever, which are still influences now. But next to that, I want to say the dip in song quality was you know kind of like it went under for a little while, and then you know over the years, I started obviously improving until I was ready to release something, which, you know, like I said, was about 2012. So, you know, I'm going to say like it kind of just developed through high school and even through college, it like developed like if you want to, you know, when we started talking about like lineup changes, that is in itself throughout those lineup changes till now is a big part of when my songwriting like started to truly evolve into what it is now. Rather than my phases changing.
True. So now that we're touching on it, we can start to dive into that a little bit as well. So it was around this time, 2012, that you're wanting to put, you know, sounds of vinyl, and you're like, all right, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna start recording this stuff. When did you guys come to the point in which you first thought, all right, here we go, we're gonna do it, we're gonna do the damn thing?
What, like we're gonna start recording and being a real
We're
band?
gonna start recording being a real band. Yeah.
Basically, before we started recording the record, we recorded like I guess like a demo. I don't remember where I saw it on Craigslist, but I guess that was probably 2010, probably 2010 or something. And we actually met some friends, some people that we're actually good friends with now. Alex Lee and Eric Scholes of A Film in Color fame. They play now and they're very good. Check out A Film in Color.
Oh, I think I remember seeing them play
Really
Pinelands.
good, right?
Yeah, they were really good. I think I'm 99% sure they played Pinelands Festival last year.
Yeah, so they're like the two dudes from that band. He's well, Eric also plays a band in another band called Heaviside, which is also really good. Check out Heaviside, everybody. Basically they like were like, oh, we're trying to like produce stuff for our like portfolio or some lame shit like that. Sorry guys, but it was a starting point for all of us, you know. And he wanted to practice home recording and stuff like that, and like Eric at Eric's house, and you know they both wanted to take a hand at producing, I guess. So that was our first step. We figured, all right, well, I guess before we record a record, I guess we should try something beforehand. And oh, you know what? We actually did some stuff before that. Some really bad demoing when we had our old name, but we don't have to talk about that. That was our okay because we're talking about our first real like you know attempt at being a real band, and that was that. We recorded with them. And it was okay. Like, I mean, they did a fine job, you know, recording and getting surprisingly decent tones for, you know, being in someone's house and then like just kind of starting out. And it sounded pretty good, but it was never something. I don't think I was like really comfortable with releasing it. So that I don't think that ever actually came out, but it is sitting on an old desktop somewhere, and it's fine, but I still wouldn't release it now. Let's just say that. But after that, we were looking around for studios, and I think after that, we're just like, let's just do it. Let's just commit to this. I have a whole record written, which is something that I kind of did. Like that was part of the way that I wrote songs, is that I always had the intention of making it a piece of something bigger. Even though like I didn't with also the thing in mind was to keep them very different at the same time. I kind of picked that up from listening to a lot of, once again, Jack's Mannequin and also a lot of Jimmy Eat World. They're masters at creating a front to back album. So whenever it came, that's basically how I learned to write songs, was not necessarily one at a time, but approaching it as a whole piece. So basically after that, I had I thought about it and I was just like, why record an EP when I have an album full of ideas that needs to be put out as an album? So even though we might have been a little young and a little unprepared, which we were definitely, we recorded most of it at a Shorefire studio in Long Branch, New Jersey, where Bruce Springsteen recorded like Tunnel of Love or something crazy like that. But ooh, sorry, Amber Alert. Okay, that was weird. But basically, Shorefire, yes. So after we recorded this record, and what we did was the first EP that you see floating around in existence was a single off that record that we released like, half a year or more beforehand, before actually releasing the record, because we thought it was, one of the strongest, most, catchy songs on the record. We released that ahead of time with like a couple other, I guess we did a few like little live demos here and there. Like I think I did one at my community college that we just kind of like tacked onto the actual single. And then, after that, the record came out. So basically, we kind of just like demoed once and then decided to record a whole record, which I think, even though, like I said, it might have been a little premature. And if we did it, looking back on it, I would do it differently. I probably would have taken smaller steps as a real band to release things that were, a little more developed. But I am proud of that record. It's called North of the Future. And I think it's on like YouTube or Spotify or something like that. It's very different from what we sound like now, but yes.
Now, I mean, like, again, it's I think it's all about like the practice, and like if you were to look back and say like, if you were to do it in another, if you had an opportunity to do it again the way that you did it, would you exactly do it?
What do you mean? Like, what is that? Just like, more of a pressing question on me saying that I would change it? Are you like
more of like you went through the process? You were saying that you were like a little unprepared. The demos were not exactly up to the quality that you want them to be. But I mean, like they were still like I would assume preparing you for a process that you would soon have to get used to.
Yes.
So with that, like, if you had an opportunity to go back and say, like, all right, are we ready to go in the studio? Would you still say, no, we should probably tighten ourselves up a little bit and then release them? Or would you still go through and, I guess, like, go through the ropes?
Yeah,
that you did do it?
Yeah, I think the thing that I would do, which is a huge part, is go to a cheaper studio. That's like, it's just one of the things we did was go straight for a world-class studio, because I wanted to shoot for the stars. And you know what I mean? Like I had no intention of being like, oh yeah, DIY punk scene. You know what I mean? Like the smart way to do it, which is honestly an easier way to get popular nowadays. You know what I mean? It's a great jumping off point, a great community full of great people, whatever. Mm-hmm. But like I was never at that point. Like I said, I was listening to like Jimmy World and Jack's Mannequin and like other bands that were already like, on a bigger circuit in terms of just, I guess, like alternative music. So I kind of had more of the intention of, skipping over the garage, I guess, and just start shooting a little bigger. And like I said, in hindsight, that cost a lot of money, and I could have started cheaper and got a similar, if not even more, like, I guess, like recording in a cheaper place, you always get more earnest results with because the equipment's not as expensive, and like it might have actually helped. It might have given it a cooler vibe, because one thing I'll always say about that record is it has no attitude. Like it's the most polite like record that I think, you know what I mean? Like I like that's the thing. I would go back and give it a little more balls. That's kind of one of the things that happened is old people really like it. So like, we got really good reviews from like old people.
I mean, that's a good way to put it though. When you realize that doesn't have that stank.
Right, exactly.
That you want to apply to it.
Right. So I mean, that's the thing. Like, you can imagine spending less money and having an even like a more relevant product. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one thing that I would do differently. That I think we would have benefited from experience wise and money wise. But you know, I don't regret it. I don't regret the things that we did, because like going into a studio like that, any other studio after that point, I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing. You know, especially when you have someone who's worked with like, you know, like Skid Row, like telling you, oh no, do it this way. You know what I mean? It's a little easier to be like, okay, that's what I'll do, you know, rather than someone who's recorded like one or two bands in their life or whatever. When you go somewhere historic, you're kind of like the pressure's on. Yeah. It's just like, you know, the clock's ticking, the dollar sign is getting bigger. You know what I mean?
It starts to loom. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And then parents start to get less generous and more like, you have to pay me back for this eventually. You know, and like I said, that's the one thing I would change for sure. No question. But it's not like I'm upset at how we approached it now. You know.
Mm-hmm. True. So now we're at today. We're at barely getting by. And you went through the rigmarole of going through member changes, and you're going through trying to re-up on your, I guess I would say, momentum of putting on music again. What was the transition like, having to kind of get back to basics?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, it really did happen that way too. We a little while, I think maybe the summer after our full length came out, our bassist at the time and you know, Matt Nance, the guy, one of my best friends that I mentioned earlier that we started playing music with, they were, you know, the bassist, and then he was the piano player / lead guitarist in the band. And, you know, we kind of, things felt like they were falling apart a little bit, you know, so we kind of like, I guess, got together and just like talked about it. And I was like, listen, like, if you don't want to be in the band, like, just tell me. I'd rather not hold you back. I'd rather let you do what you want to do rather than keep you in a place that's like limiting where you want to be, or just in a place that you're not comfortable with, you know? So I did, you know, I told them that, and they're like, yeah, we're out. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So, you know, we lost. It was weird losing, you know, two members that were extremely important to the group, because if you listen to North of the Future, some of the bass lines that our bassist at the time, Dylan did, they're like, he's the best guitar player that I know ever. That I don't know what he's doing right now. I think he's still playing guitar, I'm sure, but like, that's what I wanted in a bassist. So he was excellent. You know, you listen to some of these riffs and we're like, we can't play them now. Like, let's be real. We still can't play them. So like, some of those riffs that he did were unbelievable. So losing him, and then losing Matt, who was the primary meat filler of the band. Like, he did everything. He played all the keyboards on the record, all the, you know, piano, organ, electric piano. He played all the lead guitar stuff, played some of the bass lines, played a lot of the percussion. Like, anything that I came up with, guitar and singing, he would fill in the rest with, you know, excellently. You know, he did a great job of doing it. And he just told me that he just wasn't feeling it. It just like, it was just not the place he wanted to be after this. He kind of just like got over what we were doing and felt like he needed to do something else. So that's when he decided to leave. But at the time, even that record had just come out. We were working on, well, I was writing music, and basically I had a whole nother album written that we still haven't done anything with, and might not ever do something with. I don't know. Well, you know, it's sitting around. It's there. It's basically, after that, we had all these songs that were like written with the intention of changing direction. Like, right. But they left before that direction actually got to change. So I had a whole thing of stuff that I couldn't do on my own. So like, with that, we, obviously I couldn't do anything on my own. We had, at the time, my current bassist was playing like auxiliary percussion. He was kind of like, you see like, I don't know, Billy Joel in concert, and there's someone with like other little drums and like cymbals and stuff like that.
I'm like auxiliary. Yeah, but that makes sense.
Yeah, the guy who played tambourine on the side, he was doing that thing for us. But like I always like thought of it, like thinking about, like, for a while I was thinking it was a little cheesy. And then I look back on it and I'm like, wait, Pavement had a guy like that. And Pavement is really cool. So whatever, you know what I mean? So, whatever. He basically, I asked him, at the time, he was just learning how to play guitar. This might have been like, I guess like around 2012 still. He had just started learning to play guitar. And I...
Oh no.
I said that, would you want to play bass? We don't have anyone else, so...
We're still live, I believe.
Okay, yeah. You sound like a robot.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, this is really strange. You like, whenever you stop moving, you like become a picture, like a painting, like an abstract painting.
Oh, all right. I'm glad Google Plus wants me to be Van Gogh tonight.
Yeah. Well, that's seriously what's happening.
All right. So back to where we were asking to play bass.
Oh yeah. I asked my friend to play bass, and he said sure. So we were kind of like a 3-piece for a while. We were in a weird limbo, right? Like I said, I had a bunch of songs that we couldn't really play on our own because they were written with the intention of having more of a full lineup. So those just kind of sat around for a while. Like I said, we had the intention of moving, not necessarily completely away from playing like piano-driven rock music, but just going more, I guess, towards an alternative kind of direction. I was listening to a lot of Sparta, that one Jim Ward project, and I was really into, which is still one of my favorite records, is Saves the Days in Reverie. I was like really like that's kind of like where I was picking up a lot of cues. So I was just kind of like, all right, we could just be more alternative rock, like leaning less on the piano, Like I said, it was still like, we started playing those songs live and I thought they were really great, but still it was just too much for just 3 people to play. So basically we kind of like, we're in a limbo for a while. And I think I just started writing. I just started writing more. So, and I guess I started writing more, obviously with the intention of only being 3 people. So I'm like, okay, we're only 3 people now. I am going to write music that will sound good with just 3 people playing it live. Because I didn't want, I didn't want it to be, not make sense with just 3 people. So we did that. And at the time I had my old drummer, his name's LJ, and he was a excellent drummer too, but he, with the lineup changes, he eventually dropped off too. So he kind of just got busy with his life, being a manager at Taco Bell and having a girlfriend and stuff like that. I think he still manages at Taco Bell. Hi, LJ, if you're listening. I don't know if he is, but whatever. So so basically, well, actually, he was still okay. You know what? I'm skipping ahead a little bit. It was, so at the time it's me, LJ, and Scott, and my other friend Matt Decker. He was just someone that I was hanging out with regularly. We just started becoming best friends. So then one day we were sitting in my room and he saw I had a guitar. I was like, oh, cool. Like is that a guitar? Like, yes, it's a guitar. You can play it. I don't think it happened like that, but he started playing guitar, and like I was just like, okay, he's fine. Like I was like, he's not a bad guitar player. And then I don't remember. Maybe I was tossing the idea around my head for a little while about getting another guitar player. But I was just like, you don't seem like a bad guitar player. I was like, do you want to play guitar in my band? And then he was like, I guess. He's just like, I just got to practice a little bit. And I'm like, that's all that matters. I was like, the thing is, we've never been, we lost our only 2 really good musicians. So I was just kind of like, whatever, it doesn't matter now. Like, it's more punk anyway, right? True. So basically, that's when the writing of Barely Getting By started becoming more of a concrete thing. Is I had these songs that were, like I said, originally intended to be played as a three-piece, and then I had, you know, Matt Decker added to the equation with his guitar, and he started like just, I guess we just met up a couple times, and he started like playing stuff over the tracks, like over the parts that I was playing, and it ended up sounding really, really great. So like the stuff you hear on Barely Getting By, the stuff that's not just rhythm guitar stuff, well, you know, it's I don't know, it's kind of like, I feel like not one guitar is too leady than the other, but the one guitar that is more of a lead guitar, that's all Matt Decker, still playing it on Barely Getting By. So shout out to him for doing an awesome job recording that stuff. So basically, like I said, it ended up being songs that I originally wrote for a three-piece, and then he started adding his own stuff into it. And the songs themselves, because of that, became more, like I said, simple. And that's where we're arriving at this point now, is why the music is different, not just like style-wise, even though there's some songs that I feel like aren't too different. Like I feel like it's not a weird departure, but they definitely, I think, got simplified and stripped down, because I wanted to, I didn't mention this, but I wanted to play music. Well, I kind of mentioned it. Whatever. I wanted to play music that sounded good live. That was the ultimate goal. I wanted the music to play that we wouldn't need all these frizzle frazzle things, or like even have 5 people to play and still it not sound as full as it should. We were really, when it came to North of the Future, I was really also into Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run, which is an incredibly dense record in terms of recording. If you ever watched the documentary, that was a big influence on the recording process. So like, it really truly was back to basics. I was like, let's just do guitar, bass, and drums, and that's what we did. And I'm very proud of like how that came to fruition, and how it ended up being me writing songs that I'm, you know, essentially more proud of, or at least more happy with. Them being songs that were much more simple than the other ones in terms of I guess recording and performing, because there's some parts in the new stuff that I wouldn't have written in the old, you know. So, and then Matt Decker moved to Brooklyn, so he's up in Brooklyn doing his own thing, trying to start his own project, which at the moment is called, what is it called? I think it's called Paula or something like that. I don't know. It's in the demo process, but he's starting his own thing, so keep an eye out for that. Also, another shout out. Can't not shout out my friends.
Can't not shout about Joe.
Yep. So he basically, yeah, he moved. So it's once again a three-piece, and even more so now, I'm writing things that are totally intended to be played by a three-piece, like the new music. The new music, the stuff that's not on the EP, is even more, like I said, I don't want to say it's not even necessarily more simple, but there's even less like leads on it. It's very like, I guess, like power chord riffs, and you know what I mean, really rhythm heavy stuff. And I like the direction. Even if we had another guitarist, it'd probably still be similar.
True. All right, well, let's give some of the people at home a taste of what we're going to be listening to. So we have Barely Getting By, which is off the, Barely Getting By is the actual EP on itself. We'll take a listen. Accurate Self-Appraisal is going to be the song that we're going to showcase. If you want to give an intro to that, we'll go ahead and play from.
Yeah, did you want me to like talk about it? Is that?
Yeah, give an intro. This is TRO, yo. Give an intro.
Okay. Well, a lot of the songs that are on this record, I think, were on the tail end of me graduating college and doing a really crappy job at it, or at least doing a less, like, not as good as I wanted to be. You know what I mean? Not as good as a student. So, and the EP itself is very focused on mental health, as someone who suffers from mental health, like, you know what I mean, disabilities. That it's always been a huge outlet for music. It's for a lot of people, obviously, but yes. So at that time period, I was writing very like introspective music. It was different, I want to say, from the first record, which was kind of like viewing things through, I don't know how to explain it. We don't have to talk about the first record. This EP is very. It was about me kind of just like coming to terms with how like the things that I'll have to deal with the rest of my life in terms of mental health, in terms of finishing up school and the future that I'm creating for myself. So accurate self-appraisal, the song that we're about to play, or you're about to play, whatever. It was kind of like I guess it's definitely like it was the reason okay, now I get to talk about it. The thing that sparked the idea for this song was my psychology professor. I don't remember which course it was. It wasn't like 101. It was some more advanced one. He told me that there was a study that showed people who were more depressed had a more accurate sense of self. So I thought that to myself, that even in that, like I was like, that's depressing in itself. And it was kind of like a good, it was kind of just like a jump off point for me wanting to write a song about like self-image and how I saw myself and how I should try to see myself. Like not letting something like that, even though it seems to be more accurate, sometimes you do have to, well, the lyrics are in the song, look at yourself from a different angle and realize that things, even though you kind of, things might be more accurate technically, there's still parts of you that you shouldn't look at through that lens, because otherwise everything's going to look bad. Sometimes you have to look at it from a positive angle no matter what it is, in terms of I guess self-image and stuff like that.
Well, all right, let's give it a listen. We're going to be playing it right here. Accurate self-appraisal. There goes me and my beautiful speaking skills again of barely getting by. Gianna's sweet debut. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm gonna try and unmute you. I do this every week. I struggle to unmute people. There we go. All right.
There we go. Thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you liked it.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a solid song. Like I really enjoyed that, especially now knowing some of the context that goes behind some of the creation of the song. Being able to like switch up the angle a little bit. Like although it might come down to the fact that you might have a better sense of self-awareness when it comes to depression, but like having to sometimes take that positive angle and say like, all right, I may try and help myself because of course those with mental illnesses like depression or anxiety know that it's a uncompulsory thing to have these feelings. So
Yes,
it's impossible to tell someone just feel better. It's like, oh well, shit, fuck, like oh here I go, I feel better. But like
exactly.
to
Sometimes
to
it's a
kind
matter of
of like
perspective.
make yeah, so to try and make that active conscious thought to make it better, it puts a new spin on the same old like well, we've all listened to pop punk. Like, hey
Yeah,
man, look on the bright side. Like, this isn't a look on the bright side song. It's more of just like a. We're not telling you to look on the bright side. We're just telling you to like pause, reflect, look at it a little
exactly.
bit differently. And it's an
Like
awesome, cool thing.
even if it's not necessarily like, oh yeah, everything is sunshine and rainbows, dude. Like, what are you worried about? It's more of, like you said, sometimes even if it's still depressing, it might be a little more positive. Like there's still
Sure.
some light there, regardless of how bad something about yourself may seem. You
hmm
know, something
There
like
is a
that.
light,
Whatever.
and it never goes out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Chase, it's been great talking with you. I'm very glad that we've gotten the moment to get to be buddies and talk about some music and shit.
Yes.
Um, last question. Is there anything new that we're going to be expecting from you guys within the next year?
Yes, actually, we're recording well, I think at the end of, I guess it's not April yet, but at the end of April, we're going to be recording probably a couple songs for a split with a band from North Virginia called Textbook Fascist, which everyone should look up because they're amazing. Um, they kind of sound like Jawbox or like Fugazi, kind of like in a weird socially aware blender. It's really good. So everyone look up Textbook Fascist. We're doing a split with them, and probably a small like 4-day tour or something in June with them. Um, and then hopefully after that, I'm hoping within the next year to start recording another full length, or maybe an EP, but hopefully a full length because I have some ideas brewing, and it'll be even more different than barely getting by, because I actually realized that I wrote those songs also in like 2000, I don't know, 2013 to 14. I don't know, whatever. It's going to be different, and it's going to be a really exciting year, hopefully. I'm hoping everything comes to fruition the way that I want it to.
Exactly, and here's how hoping
And
as
with the help
well.
of the fans, it will be like that. So,
With the help of the fans back home, we will hopefully get this band off the ground. I mean, you guys are doing
yes.
solid. You guys do have a following on Facebook of people that like listening to music. You guys are able to draw kids to go out to your shows, so it's a solid start. It's a solid start to a new reset, and I am hoping the best for you guys
Thank you so
throughout this
much.
year and the years coming. Oh, absolutely, fuck yeah. So thank you guys for listening to Babetalk this week. Next week we're gonna have some
Woo!
great bands come on. We're gonna have Dozer TX. We're also gonna have Dear Tatiana. Dear Tatiana is actually very very interesting because it's gonna be one of the first um, hip hop pop punk fusion bands that are gonna be on the Pop Podcast. Dozer is cool. Dozer
I'll
we
be
had
listening.
on
I'll be listening.
uh, yeah, we had Dozer TX on Babetalk Radio in March. I know we no February. March we didn't have an episode. We will have an episode in April. We will. We're we busy out here, but it's gonna be really cool. Very 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 cool. Chrissy from I forget her media outlet had turned me on to them. Shout out to Chrissy. Who's not watching this? So yeah, we're gonna have some awesome people come on the show. Go ahead check out terminustees.com. Again, they're gonna have a sale. It's either gonna be ending tomorrow or ending sometime next week. But do yourself a favor. Go ahead and get
Hey,
100
get those
t-shirts for
community.
300. Go get them. Go get them wiener tees. This is how we lose sponsors. Go get your wiener tees, 100 t-shirts for $397, terminustees.com. Talk to your account manager or get a new one today. They're going to be awesome. We have the Babetalk Warped Tour contest that's going on right now. We just had a first submission, which looks awesome. I didn't
Real
think anyone
wiener?
would take the time. What? No, it's not. Fuck off. Like, what? It's taking me the whole episode for me to words. Wow, I hate you. Good night,
I know.
everybody. I will see you next week. Chase, thank you for coming on the show today. It's been
Thank you
real.
so much. We'll keep in touch. And thanks everyone, whoever was listening. Thank you for listening to me ramble about my life.
But that's why the show exists. We wouldn't have a show without you. Wouldn't have a show without fans. Long live Dave Talk. Long live the community. We'll see you guys next week.